Coach, you want to go right into questions?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's start with David Newton, followed by Vincent Richardson.
I was expected to be first up here, Matt. So I got a couple for you here, actually. Teddy's numbers against zone coverage has been a little, I guess, struggling a little bit second half of the year, especially. What's been the difference, you think?
I don't know if I'm prepared to answer that question in terms of versus zone versus man. I haven't seen those whatever you're referring to. I haven't seen those. I think globally, I think all of us, I think we've played well at times. We haven't played as well at other times. We've been under duress coming back. We protected a lead last week, so I hate giving you a bad answer.
No, I understand.
Without looking at it in more detail. I mean, when I grade the tape and watch the tape, I look at every play individually. When we ran this play, did we execute it properly? Why not? So we're just really probably working on a much more, finite incremental level. So I don't know if I have that answer for you as well as I should.
Well, let me rephrase this one. And what would you like to see out of Teddy on Sunday to give you a good feeling going into the offseason on him?
I think really third down. I think third down's the key to this game. I think Teddy's done a really nice job of extending drives by running the football. But I'd like to see excellence from all of us in third down. And I think when the opportunity is there to push the ball down the field, and I think our receivers have to go up and get it. We've had some big plays to DJ. I'd like to get Curtis had one last week. I'd like to get Robbie, Curtis, and DJ all involved. Pushing the ball down the field.
Go ahead, Vincent.
Steve Reed couldn't be here, and he wanted me to ask you one question if you could. Can I ask you on just the challenge of stopping Emmanuel Sanders? I guess he didn't play against you the first time, and he's putting up solid numbers lately.
Yeah, he's an excellent receiver, outstanding receiver. He'll pose a challenge to us. Obviously they're extremely efficient in what they do. They're excellent controlled passing game, and they're pushing the ball down the field right now. Really, if you go back to the first game, our issues were on third down, unable to get off the field on third down, and obviously Sanders, Emmanuel brings a real element there. So, Dante's played really good the last 2 weeks. Dante will have to play well when he's matched up against him, and then really our whole secondary will have to play well versus this precision passing game.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Matt. Miles Hartsfield seems to have got quite a lot of playing time the last couple of weeks. Could you talk a little bit about sort of how much of that is due to his growth as a player and how much is just sort of opponent-specific game plans?
Yeah, I mean, he's really emerged as kind of like the, he plays a lot at nickel for us. He's played really well the last couple of weeks. He's developed on special teams and then grown as a player throughout the course of the year. And now he's getting some big-time opportunities, and he's making the most of it. Still helping us on special teams, still doing a great job. And, you go back and watch the first game versus, New Orleans. I mean, he had 2 carries in the game as a tailback. So in an unusual year, he's had an unusual path to this point, but he's really kind of, doing a nice job as the nickel and has a bright future ahead.
Let's go to Joe Person, followed by Elena Getzenberg.
Hey, Matt, good to see you. There was a report today that you guys had at least shown some preliminary interest in Dwayne Haskins. Wondered if you could kind of characterize, what your level of interest is with him potentially.
No, I appreciate the question. Yeah, I think right now I'm going to just, as I kind of always do, I'll probably just talk about this game and won't talk about any players that are on, out there or on other teams until at least after the season.
Could you? It looks like maybe you recruited him at Temple. Would you be able to discuss sort of what your experience with him was like in that regard?
Well, I mean, any player in the Northeast, some of those guys that were highly recruited didn't spend too much time, talking to us. We were, maybe not at that level in terms of recruits, but do have a lot of familiarity with a lot of, I see a lot of guys every week that, we recruited, played against or recruited against. But, again, I'll I think at the appropriate time, I'll talk about, free agency and all the offseason moves. But right now, I'll just stick to this game.
Matt, hey, couple questions. With Christian, is there just no update, the same kind of, so he didn't practice today?
Yeah, Christian won't play this week.
And then I was curious, at left tackle, if with Russell not practicing today, I know we talked about it on Monday, but who do you is it Schofield or like what one of the practice squad guys? Like, how do you view kind of who's next up at left tackle?
Yeah, Russell won't play. We'll play Schofield and have Aaron Montero and Caskey both ready.
And sorry to be like, I feel like I'm just asking injury questions, but with Mike, did that happen? That was his injury from the game, and where are you with him for Sunday?
I do not expect as of right now for Mike Davis to play. He has a pretty severe ankle sprain. I thought it was just a tremendously gutsy performance for him to finish that game. I mean, to see him, go out there and go back on the field. I thought it was, he wanted to win that game, wanted to win the game for his teammates. So I think everyone here appreciates it. And
then just kind of going off that, then what have you seen in Rodney Smith, someone you kind of, had waived and brought back? How do you think he's done this year?
Rodney's a good player. He catches the ball, he's physical, can run the football. So, if Mike's not able to go, which I'm not expecting, Rodney, we have Trent Cannon, we have Alex Arma is always available. And then we have obviously Curtis Samuels played a lot of tailback. So, we'll have some guys ready to go.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander for the next question, followed by Phil Orban.
Sorry, I was actually going to ask about Mike Davis's status for Sunday, but Elena asked it. But thank you.
All right, let's go to Phil.
Hey, on Mike, Matt, I'm wondering, since it kind of looks like maybe the season's closing for both him and Christian, can you just kind of reflect on him stepping in and playing at the level he did and how valuable that was for you to maybe maintain what you wanted to do even without Christian?
Yeah, Mike's done a lot for us this year. Had a really good camp. He showed up to camp, had a really good camp, took advantage of his opportunities, has run the ball, has caught the ball. I don't know how many catches he has right now, but he's got a ton of catches. And then he does all the little stuff. He pass protects. He protects our quarterback. He gets out, runs routes to open other people up. I mean, he's a consummate pro. He's a great teammate. He's a great personality around here. He's physical in the run game, and he's been a big part of what we're doing. So I hope we have him Sunday, but as I said, I'm not really expecting it.
If I could, you mentioned him playing through pain to finish the game and everything that he does off the field. How important is that as you're in year one of building this thing the way you want to build it? How important is a player like him?
Well, I saw, he talked to you guys the other day and he said something to the effect of, we want to be a franchise that wins and expects to win and gets used to winning, or something to that effect. And, everybody wants to win. Everybody likes to say we want to get used to winning, but not everyone wants to do, what it takes to win, whether it's a coach being criticized, by me or me, working extra, or a player, studying extra, or a player playing through being banged up. I mean, there's all these different things. We all want to win, but are we all willing to do what it takes to win? And, Mike's hurt his hand, come off the field, gone back on the field and finished the game. He's hurt his toe. He's taken, some shots this year, some hits, but he always has gone back out and finished it. And we never want anyone to play while they're injured or anything. Don't get me wrong, but he's established a level of toughness. So, as we become a franchise that expects to win and gets used to winning, what that means is, we demand from ourselves that we will do what it takes to win. That's a big difference. That not, everyone says it, that we want to win, but are you willing to do what it takes to win, or do you want to just sit there and point at other people? So what Mike's done is he's taken the steps it takes for us to win, and it makes it easy then for me to point that out to the other players, especially the young players, and say, you want to win? Do what he's doing. Prepare like he prepares, play like he plays, show toughness and courage the way he does. So those are the type of guys that help you establish a mindset that we're trying to build.
Go to Josh Klein for the next question.
Hey, Matt. I think it's been almost a year since you were hired, and when you were brought in, a lot of talk was about like sports science and kind of updating that from an off the field perspective. How much of that was not able to be done because of COVID and just the protocols? I know you want to focus on this week. I get it, but I'm just curious, like how much of that was not able to be done.
Yeah, that's we've done a lot of the sports science stuff. We weren't able to utilize it all off season, so we have some things that we use now in season, but we weren't able to do it. We weren't able to do it. We weren't able to do it in the off season, which is really when your development and all those things happen. So, in terms of like all of the metrics that we use, the catapults and the, all those things, managing player load and all that, we have all that available to us and we're using that. But in terms of some of the other stuff, we just, we'd be more off season based, but I think we did get a lot of it. I mean, we looked at it last week going into the second to last game, in terms of game loss because of, time loss injuries because of games. It was lower than it has been the last couple of years. The lowest it's been in quite a while was the 2015 season. So time loss reflects winning quite a bit in terms of injuries. And, you're going to have contact injuries. Sports science can't prevent contact injuries, but it can prevent, to a degree, erosive injuries and soft tissue injuries, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think our group's done a good job. And I think once COVID is, things at some point go back to the way they were, I think having guys here in the off season will really help that.
And just to follow up, do you think that stuff will be available this off season, or you just kind of go day to day, day by day?
No, I mean, I'm planned out. I have calendars all the way through, till next season. I just don't know what COVID's going to bring in terms of what we're allowed to do with players, once April comes. So we'll have to wait, and see what exactly, is there for us, in terms of the rules, in terms of the NFL, and protocols.
All right, we can get a couple more. So let's go back to Joe Person and then Elena Getzenberg.
Matt, any more you can share on Robbie Anderson?
Yeah, he was just sore today. So, I mean, he's, DJ's missed a game, Curtis has missed a game. They've had a week where they were, able to rest. I think just Robbie just, hopefully just needed to rest today. So we just sat him down today and gave him a day to, hopefully get out there tomorrow and as we go to third down and be flying around. And
on some of these other injuries, I mean, it's obviously hypothetical, but if you guys were, in a playoff hunt, would these be injuries that a guy like Davis might be able to play through?
Like a high ankle, you're saying? Are you saying Mike Davis, Joe?
Really, several of these guys. You had a long list of DNPs today. Were they in a different scenario? Might these guys be up for you?
No, this is just for practice today. That was a pretty physical game on Sunday. We ran the ball 35 times. We took a lot of reps on defense. So, no, I mean, I think if I can kind of get what you're asking. I mean, Brian Burns wouldn't have played with an MCL last week if we didn't have the mindset of we're trying to win everything. Mike's banged up. Robbie just needs a day to catch it. Recuperate a little bit. So instead of continuing to aggravate that thing, so we sat it down for a day and have him back out there tomorrow.
Hey Matt, I was just curious. Derek Brown is someone, he had a good game last week, and I was just curious. Now he's played 15 games. How you thought he's developed over the course of the season?
I mean, he's played well. He's developed in a lot of areas. He's worked on his pass rush. He plays hard. He runs to the ball. He's professional. He's a good learner. He just needs time to just continue to develop in the off season. A lot of these rookies to come in the NFL and not have an off season with us is really, really, really hard. From taking care of your body to flexibility to learning the playbook. But I feel like Derek's come a long way.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. Coach, we appreciate you taking the
All
time.
right, thank you.
Floor is open.
Dante, you've obviously played. Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up?
You have you played really well over the past 2 weeks. Do you still feel, has the toe kind of gotten any worse over the past since you've come back, or is it still up at 100%?
No, it's still feeling good. Still feeling good. Still allowed me to go out there and be myself and not have to worry about anything. It feels good.
And to be to the last few years since you've been in the league, the final game of the season hasn't been, you guys haven't really been playing for a playoff position or anything like that. How do you get yourself up for these games from a personal perspective?
Oh, for me, I tend to play, the game with the intensity that I think that the opponent, has, for the last, few years, 2 years, since I've been here, we've always been playing a team that was like fighting for something, or fighting for a seed in, or fighting for a playoff berth. Like last week, I just go out there with the intensity that is us, that is us on the other side of the table, and that's just how I approach games. I approach games as if because every game, regardless of how you put it, it's always something to play for. It's always something to fight for, whether that's self-improvement, team improvement, or anything, pride, whatever. So I just go out there and I just play because it's another opportunity to go out there and play. I really don't try to look at what are we playing for or what are they playing for. I know for a fact that there's a game on Sunday, and I know for a fact that regardless that we have to show up and we have to play. So that's the only thing I need to know to get going.
Let's go to Joe Person, followed by Sharon Thorsland.
Dante, having said that, I don't know that you guys would truly be in a spoiler role this week. I guess the Saints are trying to play for that #1 seed. But as a Louisiana guy, would you, I mean, that spoiler role, does that come into effect at all for you?
Nah, I'm just going to play football, man. It's another chance to get out there and uh just to give it your all. And that's really, how I approach this thing. I've been, fighting all year to get healthy and to play at 100, just so I can be out there and be, a top guy for my teammates and for coaching staff. And so I can't, and I'm just talking about from my perspective, I have no room to, take games for granted or to go out there feeling like there's nothing to play for because I'm just now getting healthy towards the end of the season, whether it's my 4th game healthy or not. I just want to show up and go play because I haven't had this, I haven't felt like this all year. So.
And to that point, I mean, I don't know that you were 100% the first meeting against these guys. They were without a couple of their wideouts that night. Is it kind of cool to be facing this Saints team where, at least at those positions, you guys look to be full strength?
Oh, most definitely. It definitely brings some excitement. They're a high-powered team, high-powered offense, very efficient. So it definitely brings some excitement knowing that they're gonna have most of their top pass catchers in the game.
Hey, Dante. I know that Kamara is technically a running back, but how tough of a player is he to defend because of what he can do on the ground and catching passes?
He's very he's very tough to he's been doing it for a little minute. He's been making plays all over the field in the catching game, running game. So he's definitely a guy that we all know, everybody in the world knows that you have to stop to have a chance of beating these guys. So yeah, we respect his talent, but it's the game to be played on Sunday. We have a lot of great players on our team, on our defense, and we're just gonna be ready to play on Sunday. It's gonna be big matchup, divisional game, and that's really all that matters for us.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then back to Josh Klein.
Hey, what's up, Dante? Hope you're doing well.
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. I just wonder, as you all kind of close out the first year of this new coaching regimen, what do you think you've learned about this team, and about what y'all been able to do or anything like that?
I would say that we go in the right direction. I don't want to be cliche and say that we're close, but we're definitely going in the right direction. And we a hungry bunch. I just feel like and not making any excuses. I just feel like having not having like OTAs and that off season thing. What's being like such a young team and a lot of new coaches and a lot of new things going around. I think that we really needed that. But we didn't have it, and we still, found a way to get things moving in the right direction. And I think that with a new team and new guys, new faces, I think that's that's all you can really be grateful for coming off a season like this with so much uncertainty. So,
kind of building off that uncertainty, was there any point maybe in like August, July where you were like, I don't think this season is going to get all the way through? I mean, we're 3 days from week 17. Was there any doubt?
I don't think it was any doubt, but it was, you definitely started paying attention to a lot of the stuff that was happening, during the season, and it kind of made you think. But I didn't think I'd have had any doubt that we weren't going to finish. But it's definitely a blessing, and all the guys in the locker room, and every guy I'm sure is in this building, in this organization, is very grateful that we made it this far throughout the season, and that's one thing that you can definitely thank God for, and it just be grateful and be happy for that. That the fans got a chance to watch a full season of football, and we got a chance to play, and coaches got a chance to coach, a full game, a full year of football, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm sure that a lot of guys around the league, a lot of guys around the organization can say the same thing. It's a blessing.
We can get one more question in, so let's go to Nick Carboni before we let Dante go.
Carboni.
Hey, Dante, you guys obviously picked up a big win for yourselves and have been in most of the games this year, win or lose. What do you guys take from that tangibly? What are you excited about that you can take from that into next year?
Again, I hate to be the guy to say like we're close, we're right there. But I mean, it's true. You know, a lot of games didn't go our way as of late. And a lot of that was our fault. A lot of that was just, you know, other teams just made plays. But we definitely have a young group to build off of, and just to have a lot of stuff to be excited for going into this next year. But we still have a week of football left to play. I don't think anybody in the building is really too much to think about next year. But we definitely have a lot of things to be excited about, and a lot of things to, you know, just be grateful for going into this next year, and a lot of things to work towards.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. Dante, we
Thank you,
appreciate it.
guys.
Just a reminder, please use the raise hand button if you have questions for Teddy. With that said, if someone wants to start us off with the first question, the floor is open.
Hey, Teddy. I know that obviously there's still one more game left, but I was wondering if you could kind of reflect a little bit on the challenges that this season has presented from a protocol standpoint, and if at any point, like maybe during mini camps when you weren't able to be here, or July, August, if you kind of thought to yourself, man, this season might not get all the way through.
Honestly, that's something I'll probably do after this game. A lot of reflecting. But I think I can speak for us as a team when I say that given the circumstances of everything that transpired this year, I think the guys have done a great job of just responding and fighting through the many obstacles and the tasks that we've been faced with on the field and off the field. Like I said, I'll reflect on the entire season once we play this last game. We still have one more game that means a lot to us. So we want to continue to respect the game, respect our opponents, and do all the reflecting after this game.
Let's go to David Newton.
Hey, Teddy, hope you're doing well today. Kind of cold out there for practice, but wanted to ask you, with the final game, what would you like to accomplish out there to leave you with a good feeling about this season and the team with a good feeling about you going into the offseason?
Honestly, we just want to win. That's the ultimate goal each week, to win. And of course, in the process, you want to execute, know your assignment, do your job well. For me, personally, I just want to go out there and, play winning football, win situations. If the game comes down to, us being able to finish on the field, going down and scoring, that would be awesome as well. But it's just one of those deals where, we have one more game. It's the most important game because it's the next game. And, it'll be, the last game, that this 2020, 2021 team will play together. So, we want to make sure that we just, give it our all and, try to put our best football forward.
Let's go to Sharon Thorsland, followed by Elena Getzenberg.
Hey, Teddy, I know when most people think of the Saints, they think of that offense, but their defense is obviously quite good right now, ranked third in the league. What kind of a challenge do they pose, and any one player in particular more troublesome than others?
It's a defense that, those guys, I've had the opportunity to play the last 2 seasons there with them. And, I've noticed that at the start of the season, those guys are still just, feeling their way around. And then you get to that midway point towards the back end of the season, those guys know how to turn it on. And I think if you look at the numbers, the first time we played them, I think, they were struggling statistically. And you look at them now, they're in the top in the league. It just speaks highly of that team, the players on that team, the way they're coached. Of course, you got guys like Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Marshawn Lattimore, Malcolm Jenkins. Those guys are making plays and creating a spark for that defense. Trey Hendrickson, the big guys up front. So, it's a defense that we're aware of, that they're playing well, but we still just want to make sure we go into this game with the mindset of just, attacking.
Hey, Teddy, I was curious, when you look at your stats, that was statistically one of your best games against the Saints. And I know you just kind of talked about their defense, but does your familiarity against them, do you feel like that helped at all, the first time you played against them?
I hope it did, but at the same time, we lost that football game, so it wasn't good enough to win. And at the end of the day, I just want to go out there and get the ball to our guys, allow those guys to make plays like they've been doing all year, and the rest will take care of itself. Like I said, we just want to make sure that we're playing winning football, giving ourselves a chance to win this football game and not beating ourselves.
And then I was curious, Matt just talked to us, and one of the things he said he was hoping to see from the offense in general is kind of like third down, having success on third downs. Why do you think that's maybe been an issue this year, that you guys haven't been able to find consistent success on third down?
I think you got to look at us on first and second down. The times we were great on third downs this year, we were, elite on first and second down. And the times that we struggled on third downs, I think we weren't so good on first and second down. So I think, we could just play one snap at a time and be efficient on first and second down. And then if we're not efficient, still just be able to convert those third downs, go to our favorable matchups, make sure we, protect it well. And I just, play pitch and catch with our guys. I think we can find better execution.
Go to Jonathan Alexander, followed by David Newton.
Hey, Teddy, hope you're doing well, man. Just like you mentioned, I think the Saints were probably had given up the most touchdowns when you all played them, passing touchdowns when you all played them the first time. So I'm wondering if you've been able to watch them again on film. What are they doing better in particular?
Honestly, those guys are just making plays and not giving up the big plays. I think earlier in the season, they were giving up a lot of big plays. They were getting penalized a lot in the back end. So those guys are just, communicating with each other. They've been battling some injuries and things like that as well. Different guys stepping up and making plays for them. But that's the biggest thing. Those guys just playing with confidence and trusting, their technique.
Hey, Teddy, when you said at the end of the last question I asked you, it'd be awesome if you go down and win it at the end. Does that 0-8 in game-winning situations with the ball in your hands, is that the stat that stands out most disappoints you this year, or is there another one that would bother you the most, or what?
I didn't even think about that. It's just one of those deals where you want to just finish on the field. I think we did a good job finishing on the field last week with being able to get into the victory formation. But, to go down there and put together a game-winning drive, I think, for one, we owe it to ourselves. We've worked extremely hard this year, and we want to show that we can execute in those situations. But, just I think it would be good just moving forward, into the off season, being able to just learn from, the different experiences that we've had this year and, what better way to put one together, this week.
Let's go to Josh Klein, followed by Skylar Callahan.
Hey, Teddy, have you been on a team that's gone for it on fourth down as much as this team has? And have you noticed a trend around the league? I mean, obviously, you're on this team and paying attention to what's going on your offense, but have you noticed a trend of teams going for it on fourth down more often?
I really haven't paid attention to that, a lot of the other teams, but, I think, we have gone for it a lot on fourth down this year, and I'm excited that, coach, trust us to be able to convert those fourth down situations. Whether it's the punt team being out there running a fake, or it's us heading off fullback dive or calling the naked, it just shows supreme confidence in us, as a team. So, we appreciate coach having that belief in us, that trust in us to be able to convert, and also having that trust in the defense that if we don't convert, that they'll come up with a big stop for us.
Hey, Teddy, coming into this year, Curtis had a catch percentage about 50 or 60%. This year it's clear all the way up to 80%, which I believe is second in the league among receivers. What do you see in him that has made him one of the most reliable receivers in the league? And is that one word that you would describe him as reliable? Yeah,
Curtis is very reliable. And you watch him catch the ball. He does a great job just, seeing the ball in to the tuck. He squares the ball up well. Then also he just has a good feel for the defense. When he's out there, he's maneuvering through the zone coverages. He's setting up different routes versus man. He's winning in his man matchups, his one-on-one matchups. And all of that is coming together, and he's having the success that he's having. We're excited for him that he has a career high in receiving yards right now. So that's, awesome for him. He's worked extremely hard. And like you said, to go from 50% to 80%, that's a huge jump, and it's a testament to his hard work.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. Teddy, we appreciate you stopping by.
No problem. Thank you.
Appreciate you stopping, Teddy.
Thank you.
him. Rasul, can you hear us on your end?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, if you want to ask any questions to Rasul, either raise your hand, or if you want to start us off, you can turn your mic on and the floor is open.
Hey, Rasul. I'm curious. This season, I would imagine, has been such a grind. Like, what are you going to do when the season's over? Like, what's the first thing you're going to do once the game's over?
We got exit meetings Monday, so I'll probably enjoy that game for a day or two, then exit meetings, and then probably just go with my family, try to get my mind off of football for a little while, and just enjoy it with them.
I guess my question would be, like, how will you need that time more urgently than maybe in past years, just kind of how this year's gone?
I mean, it's really the same. I mean, we've been doing the same thing, probably a little bit less due to like COVID, with like you not doing outside things. But yeah, nah.
Let's go to Joe Person, followed by Sharon Thorsland.
Rasul, you mentioned exit meetings. Has there been any indication yet whether the Panthers might want to bring you back, and would you be up for that, or what's your approach to potential free agents?
Oh nah, I'm not talking about that. I'm not thinking about that. Even if they bored it to me, I wouldn't want to talk about it. I'm just focused on the next game, our last game. I'm just focused on that. I'm not really thinking about anything else.
I guess this would be your first venture into free agency. Is there part of you that's kind of, somewhat intrigued by that potential?
I'm not thinking about it. So, like, literally, until you just said something, like, I haven't even thought about it. Like, I'm just trying to stack as much good days of practice and games as I can.
Hey, Rasul, when you look at the Saints offensively, they've got so many receivers who are injured right now, but they do have Sanders. I know he didn't play the last time you guys played them, but what makes him such a good receiver? He's having a pretty solid year already, and how tough is he to defend?
He didn't play last time we played them, and I didn't play last time we played them, so I don't know. He's a good receiver though, but I didn't play against him this year, so I don't know.
All right, guys, I don't see any more hands raised. If you guys have more questions for Rasul, have him for a couple more minutes. Let's go to Elena.
Thanks, Preston. Rasul, I was just curious, how do you feel like, I know you're focused on the game and everything, but just so far, how do you feel like this season has gone for you? Are you happy with your performance? Are there things, games you think about, or just how do you feel like this season's gone overall?
I mean, terrible. We've been losing. So I don't really look at it as myself. It's a team sport. If I cared about my stuff, I would have probably went to track or boxing or something like that. But we've been losing, so it's been a pretty up and down. It's been a highlighted season of sometimes we can get the job done, and sometimes we're as good as we think we are, and then there's been times where we're not who we say we are, and we don't do things as we should do it. So it's just been a roller coaster for us as a team.
To Darren Gant, followed by David Newton.
Rasul, your own situation aside, most of this defense is going to be together for several more years. How long do you think it'll be before it starts looking like what it's going to look like and how good it can be?
Fast. I honestly feel like that Packers game, even with the loss, I feel like that game showed us exactly who we are. That second half showed us that we can be a great defense. If we just do our jobs and take in with Snow and those guys tell us, I feel like that's who we are. And since then, we've been showing that that's who we are. So I feel like in the next year, I wouldn't be surprised if this team can win a division and stuff like that.
Hey, Rasul, I appreciate your answers this year, all season. I wanted to kind of follow up on that, I guess. I mean, what from this season you take away that gives you optimism that things are going to be good next year?
Because we've shown it. We've been in games. The fight's been there all year. If you look at every game, we have yet to get blown out, besides the Tampa Bay game the second time. But every game we've always had the chance to win games, whether it's due to scoring or even tying a game. We had that every year. There's literally, you look at from first game, Oakland to Tampa Bay, we came back 21 to every game this season. We've had a chance to either win or tie. So that shows us that we're a good team. I mean, we're tough. And then we showed spurts where we could be a great defense and then we can be a great offense. So it's just the form of us just putting it together. And I think we've been trying that lately of just doing those things, and it's coming out. So I feel like eventually down the line, once tomorrow comes and, well, Sunday comes, next year, it should be like that from the beginning.
You guys got time for one more, so let's go to Sharon Thorsland before we let Rasul go.
Hey, Rasul, just wanted to see what you think about Drew Brees right now coming back from the injury and how he's playing. And I know even though he might not be playing his best right now, what makes him such a special quarterback?
He just knows where to go with the football. He gets it to his guys and allows them to do the rest. I think that's the best thing about him. Like, he gets the ball out fast and he gives his guys a chance to make a play.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. So we appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, media, that's going to do it.